Hello to all of our listeners. Today we are doing our follow through episode on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast from our interview with Lauren Weiner. Her original episode aired on May 27th, and the topic is getting unruly and unstoppable. Barb Zant here, media sales leader and founder of the lifestyle brand and blog, The Stay at Work Mom.
Hi, everyone. It's Debbie Lundberg, performance, mindset, and resilience coach with Presenting Powerfully.
Debbie, OMG, 300 episodes. How cool is that? What a thing to celebrate for all of our listeners and our viewers. That is a lot of inspiration.
Yes, it is. All of our life learners, as we call all of you listeners and
Yes.
viewers, we're celebrating. We're here in the 301st episode because it's our follow through. We were thrilled to have a national bestseller. I'm sure it'll be an international bestseller with Unruly with Lauren Weiner on. And she was laughing with us about telling people how to remember to say her name because her dad said when she was dating her husband, he said, "Oh no, if you have kids, you'll have bunch of little whiners." And she made us laugh even before we got started. I mean, she is truly on her own amazing journey and spectacular path where she shared with us about, she's excited about 20 plus years of building what she built, and it was a passion project, and how now her husband has the sound addict in South Tampa, and really he gets to have his passion project, and it's a very cool experience because of the students. So she really led with that love and of the support. And how about the walk-up music of the king of anything? And we got talking about Sarah Bareilles. And for our life learners, all of our listeners and viewers, we did check to see if we could go to Sarah Bareilles concert, and we missed the window for right now. But when she tours again, we can plan on that. But how did you do with sleeping in till 7:30?
Oh boy, did I check on that concert. Yes. So obviously, Debbie, I love our night owls and I love waking up at 7:30. I do have my scheduled classes at 7 o'clock is the latest that I can do one. So on the days that I didn't have that, I loved it. And on the weekends, 7:30 is where I will keep it. That is definitely a sweet spot for me for when I go to sleep at night. And, sleep is something that we've both been working on. So I absolutely loved it. I thought about you. How did you do with that?
I I did only do it when we were traveling, and we were in a very nice, comfy bed too. So,
Well, I was
so
gonna
I was
say,
up
were you
later.
on another time zone? Is that how you did it?
No, 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 I wasn't. But I will tell you, Michael came in to wake me up, and I said, "I'm staying here. I'm staying in this bed." So I did it for a couple of days. It was enjoyable. It doesn't suit my schedule right now, and I'm not unhappy about it. It was a pleasure, and I will do it on some of those days and when we travel. So it was really enjoyable. I mean, didn't she say she does social media and then sometimes goes back to sleep?
So what she said is sometimes with the time, with our age, she'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning and then she'll go back to sleep. But she said she checks her social media first thing in the morning. And I had stopped doing that a while back. And then I noticed I missed a couple birthdays. So it was a pleasure to actually do that
Mhm.
now. So now I'm checking in and I'm keeping it quick, but I'm checking for birthdays and big events. So that way, on my way to work, when I'm doing my reach outs, I will not forget those big events for people in my village.
It's true. I'm torn on this one because of what you said. So many people we've had on say, don't go into your social media. Now, I do post, I absolutely post because I don't use a scheduled service. I have used a scheduled service. Right now, I'm not. And it's simply because I have it available and I haven't focused on it. That's it. But I also get up and I check the weather for running, and then I do that. So I was torn on that one. So on the weekends, getting up later like that, I thought, what am I going on social media for? Because I utilize it so much from my outreach and for my business. But what I did was exactly what you said. I do check birthdays. And I like that. I like that aspect. And then if I miss a birthday or miss a couple of days because I don't do it, I'll send and say happy birthday week because I realize, oops, I missed it, or happy birthday weekend. So I'm not sure if I'm what I'm going to keep. Well, I'm going to keep the part. That wasn't clear. I'm sure I'm going to keep the part about the business on the weekdays. I'm not sure if I'll check social media right away on the weekends. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm going to keep it every day and I'm going to limit it to 5 to 11 minutes or so. So I truly just use it for a check-in to make sure I'm not missing important things. And then I'll go back because I can go down a rabbit hole. And if I
Mm,
see a news, especially being in the news business, if I see a story that piques my interest, I've lost 30 minutes. So I am going to keep it, to 5 to 7 minutes. But I really love the reaching out for purposeful birthdays and anniversaries and big events in people's lives. So it's a great time for me. That worked really well to just check for those things.
yeah, but now that you're saying it, I do agree. I'm glad she had us do it, and that seems like a good one. Now, we're going to get a guest that tells us to stay off, so we'll be switching it only for that period. And usually in our quarterly rewinds or at the end of the year, we talk about what we kept, so we will see more about that. The other aspect, I started looking at people a little bit differently when Lauren was talking about the Sherpas and the love and the emotional intelligence and, all of the different things, because I said, I look at it as that directional energy is love, emotional intelligence, and prioritization, one of the Lundbergisms. So she certainly gives us some good stories, just like in her book Unruly about the Sherpas. What probably impresses and surprises and has such a lasting effect on so many people is when she openly and humbly talks about the imposter syndrome. It's in her book. She has a story about missing the point of the brown bag lunch of
At
the
the White
fact,
House, no less.
and at the White House. Yes, you happen to be working at the White House, by the way. Yes. So her sense of seems like her sense of self-awareness and her sense of humor and her timing have really come together. I mean, maybe they've always been that way. Seems like she's got that down, but she says, be uncomfortable, seek out good information, bring in more information, get data, but make sure you can ground yourself. And she seems as though she's done it. I mean, she's as we say, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, you walk the walk. Well, she's walking the talk by demonstrating it, even because she'll be so quick to share those stories and laugh, and she's very generous with her time and her ideas. What else stuck with you?
So Lauren is not a rule breaker. And at the beginning of her episode, she talked about breaking some rules.
Mm-hmm.
And that really stuck with me. And as I ordered her book to, add to for what I'd like Christopher to read in part of his graduation things and having him hear about the optimum. But there are some rules that can be broken. And so I liked all of that messaging really talked to me. And so I tend to, skate the line. So I do like to stomp on some rules. And it gave me that confirmation to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I like to say to people, I will I will abide by the rules until the rules don't serve me and I know a better way to do it. So perhaps that's a little bit of rationalization of breaking rules. But she almost joined the circus. We heard about that before going to school. And I mean, her schooling is so impressive, and how she incorporates it and shares it is not that braggadocious side of it. It's that she laughs about it or talks about how things come out, or the fact that somebody with her education and a PhD could feel as though she was not belonging where she was supposed to be is such a good reminder of everybody to say, hang on, when you look in the mirror, see your strengths and not your flaws, is what I took from that. Because she almost joined the circus with, I believe it was her cousin, because he said, I just do this for a year or something, and she thought it was a good
Ah,
idea. And the world is a better place, not because we don't want people in the circus, but because Lauren's done the journey that she's done and brought us to this unruly place. And we close it out with her walk-off music was unwritten. And I mean, could that be for everybody? I mean, it certainly seems like it. The rest is still unwritten. And we're thrilled that she wrote part of the history of the Business of Life Masterclass podcast with our record 300th episode. We've got a few more left in this 8th season, and then we'll be rolling into our 9th season. But Lauren Weiner was a real coup to have, sharing her insights at this point in her life and at this point in the podcast life, so to speak, too, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to adding her songs to our playlist. So as we close this out, please know, listeners, that you can stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook at the Business of Life Masterclass, me on Instagram at the Stay at Work Mom, and Debbie Lundberg is Debbie Lundberg most everywhere. Debbie is Debbie Lundberg Coach on TikTok. If you like what you heard, please rate us 5 stars. We are committed to providing you with 5-star guests just like Lauren. So stay tuned, and thank you for joining us for this episode of the Business of Life Masterclass, the podcast for successful people embracing every chance to accomplish and experience all you can in business and in life.
Listen, choose, do. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have ever thought, gosh, I'd like a collaborator, I wonder what else I could do, it's likely that the answer is a coach. Hi, I'm Debbie Lundberg, Performance and Mindset Coach with Presenting Powerfully. And if you would like confidential coaching to drive you to the next idea, the next role, or even to figure out your own brand, please reach out to us at Presenting Powerfully, 813-494-4438. Thank you.